salutations, listener. I am Eric J. Chucci. With me is the boy.
Hey.
We're friends. And you have tuned in to the Two Nerds podcast. If you don't know the song and dance by now, I'll recite it for you again. Please hit the like button, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, share our vids with your friends because it helps boost our signal. And then other people can enjoy our ranting. Also, do yourself a favor, follow the link in the description to Super Blizzard's Bandcamp page. Buy a few songs about pro wrestling at a reasonable price. His Shining Wasato song, Let's Get Hardcore, is our theme music after all. And he's working on a game entitled Puppet Kingdom that looks pretty rad. So help fund his dreams and get yourself some chilled out grooves in the process.
So, listener, this week we are going to cover Game of Thrones, since the finale was so recent, and since both of us watched the show and are fairly into it, although that's going to be a topic of discussion throughout the podcast. By the way, the telltale pause in the intro was White trying to figure out a witty, appropriate, topic-related way to introduce me, and, well, the bucket came up empty.
Well, you are the boy, so at least it wasn't inaccurate.
There you go. Well, so Game of Thrones.
Yes. The Good Time Peter Dinklage Show.
The Good Time Peter Dinklage Show. Not to be confused with the, what was it? Fantasyland.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. You said it and now my brain is... Bad Lip Readings YouTube channel. Search that, you'll find it.
A Game of Thrones overdub based on bad lip reading of the actors' lines, wherein they would insert new lines. That has officially become a thing around the Two Nerds household.
Yeah, they made it ages ago. I'm surprised I hadn't found it, but, you know, the internet.
The Nilla Wafers is now just something that gets passed back and forth throughout the house. But to the actual show, the finale obviously was recently. Please don't continue listening to this podcast unless you've seen that.
Yeah, let's just say, spoiler alert, not for the books, but for the show.
Maybe for the books.
Probably not, because I haven't read them.
There's some things you know.
I'll hit you.
There's some... I might discuss the things he already knows. Be warned, I never can quite trust where my mouth is going to go in any given conversation, so just tread careful. The show, definitely, we're going to spoil the shit all out of that. So, mostly I wanted to bring this podcast to you, listener, because my compatriot here has some rather interesting opinions on the Game of Thrones. He hates almost all the characters, barring a few that other people hate, whom he loves.
Well, I mean, that's not
and
necessarily...
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
He also loves Peter Dinklage, because who doesn't?
That's not necessarily true. I mean, I love Peter Dinklage, but...
No, alright, let's go through the list. How do you feel about, say, Catelyn Stark?
I think she's the reason this entire series is a thing, and that's not a good thing.
So, would you say you're fond of Catelyn Stark?
I'm fond of her death scene.
Fair.
I laughed uproariously and rooted for Professor Janitor through the whole thing.
Okay, back up.
Yeah, that's like 3 layers of inside joke right there. I apologize, Ultimo Dragon. You have no way of knowing what the hell I'm talking about.
No, we're going to explain this. Professor Janitor's going to be how we refer to this guy, because it's how we referred to him for the last several years. So it's got to back up. All right, I'm going to look up the actor's name. Why don't you tell him the story?
Okay, so, independent of one another, when Boy and I met, we were both into Harry Potter. And I have a hard time with names. I didn't used to, but then I worked in the food service industry, and people's names are so unimportant there because of how quickly they're replaced, I absolutely lost my knack for names. It was around this time the Boy and I met, and I couldn't remember the names of most of the characters in Harry Potter. You know, the principal ones, sure, but side characters, not so much.
Your Emmeline Vances, your Daedalus Diggles, You're Argus Filch.
Yeah. We were talking, it was just conversationally. And I said something about, Professor Snape, Professor Quirrell, Professor Janitor.
I swear I might have laughed for like 3 solid straight minutes. Obviously, he could not remember Argus Filch's name.
But I got the point across.
Not Mr. Filch,
He's
not
Professor
Mrs.
Janitor.
Norris. No, Professor Janitor. So now David Bradley is the actor's name. David Bradley is referred to in all things that he is in, whether he's Argus Filch or Lord Walder Frey, Lord of the Crossing. He is Professor Janitor. So that's where that came from.
Walder Frey, whose name I do know, but Professor Janitor is easier.
Anyway, that actually brings us another bridge. So the Red Wedding, you've all seen the Red Wedding reaction videos online. They're everywhere. Google it if you haven't. It's a series of people watching the Red Wedding and just being horrified and terrified at these awful goings-on of the protagonist being slaughtered willy-nilly, wholesale.
Protagonist, my left tit.
Dude, he was the protagonist.
Whatever. Anti-tagonist, maybe.
This guy, and I knew this was going to happen, having read the books and knowing the characters and knowing White like I do. So during the whole scene, I had one eye on the screen and one eye on him because I knew what was going to happen, and he didn't disappoint. The Reigns of Castamere starts playing, and the band starts warming up for the party.
I got all excited.
The real party. He had no spoilers for this.
No, I didn't. I really didn't.
And it was the best thing ever. Because then it happens. The Red Wedding happens. And from the first crossbow bolt forward, he was laughing uproariously like the world's best stand-up comedian had just mic dropped on his face.
Look, okay, you know how you all reacted when Joffrey died at the beginning of this season. All the fuck yous, all the cheering. That times, all the people who died. I was glad.
Not a fan of the Robb Stark. Not a fan of the new Jane Westerly replacement character, Talisa, I believe her name was. Robb Stark's piece.
Wife. His wife. He married like a nonce.
Yeah. Not a fan of the Catelyn Stark. Apparently not a fan of Great John Umber, which I was always a wee bit tepid about. I mean, that's a little... Great John's great.
Was that the cool guy?
The big guy.
Who was like
got his hand partially eaten.
Yeah, but he was like a badass.
Yeah.
But he was also kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't like him because he was a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of respected him.
But huge fan of the Lord of the Crossing and the Roose Master.
Well, look, I think it's kind of creepy. I don't really run around saying, you got roosed the same way you do, but look, I admire good tactics, and that was a good tactics. I attribute that to Tywin more than anything. Frey and Roose were just set pieces for that.
Also, huge fan of Tywin Lannister, this guy. Most, I'm just trying to get the internet to hate you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not usually this guy. I'm not always roots for the heels, always roots for the bad guys kind of guy. I mean, I like heels, but I like faces too. I like Goldust. I've always liked Goldust. I like Ryback back when he was a face. I loved him.
But,
I like Luke Skywalker. Fuck you, he's super face.
He's the faciest of all faces. But in the Game of Thrones specifically, you seem to edge. I mean, you do literally own a shirt that says, "Damn, it feels good to be a Lannister."
Well, because they got the riches and they got the bitches.
Speaking of bitches...
Maybe not anymore, they don't.
Yeah, there you go.
They got fake-ass riches.
And no more bitches. The imp done took care of that. Speaking of which, the finale. I obviously, being the guy who read the books, yes, I'm that smug douchebag who keeps having to repeat that.
Yes, I'm that smug douchebag. Ladies and gentlemen, the boy in a sentence.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. I knew this was going to happen. But there's a bunch of stuff in the finale they changed. A bunch of important stuff they changed. One change in specific, which has a pretty big impact on later books, and will change the show fairly significantly from here on out, and I'm pretty excited about those. But the thing I'm specifically talking about right now is Shay. So, that was an interesting scene.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was... I don't know. It's... Hubba, hubba, hubba. Money, money, money. Who are you going to trust?
Thank you very much for blowing all my nerd circuits, because the line is, who do you trust?
Sorry. I've seen the movie once in the last 20 years.
So have I, but I still know the line.
Yeah, because you have a memory for that kind of thing.
Also, because I watched it like 1,000 times when I was a kid.
Yeah, I saw it like maybe twice when I was a kid.
But
regardless, I mean that's pretty much the way I see it. You know, I've analyzed it back and forth a little bit because I'm not going political here.
Yeah,
I don't want to go political.
We're just going to avoid that whole problem.
But I've analyzed it back and forth a little bit because I want to feel good about my stance on a certain subject. You know, her character was headstrong and confident and stubborn.
And wrong. And those things,
and wrong.
And those things in conjunction make for a terrible set of circumstances.
Right. And, you know, I saw it tossed around a little bit that maybe, you know, the people cheering at her death were being a bit obtuse because what choice did she really have other than to work with Tywin?
Well, she could have worked with Tywin without, you know, working with Tywin.
Well, you know, I don't know how much that's on Tywin. That's not on her. I mean, and if that's something, I don't see that as something Tyrion held against her so much. I mean, you know, maybe in the books he's like, she fucked my daddy, fuck her.
She didn't do that in the books.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I haven't read this shit.
You know, that's unless I'm misremembering, that's new.
I ain't got time to
I
read.
assume they did it because they made her much more sympathetic in the show. And they really went to great lengths in the show to show that she actually did care about Tyrion.
Well, right, and honestly, the way I see her character's journey having gone to that point is that she honestly believed the bullshit about Tyrion, that he was in love with Sansa, that he was just using her, etc., etc. You know, paranoia is a dangerous element in any situation, and I mean, I forgive me for quoting Moulin Rouge, but without trust there can be no love. And she didn't trust Tyrion, and enough people said enough things that she was like, fine, I'm going to fuck you over. Sleeping with Tywin or not, that was... You are a betrayer. You had my heart. I gave it to you. And now you're throwing it back in my face, and for what? Rumors? Suspicions? I was trying to help you, says Tyrion. I have no affiliation with this woman. You will find I do not exist in Westeros.
You would be so dead.
I would be so dead.
Just to clear the air, so would I. I'm not trying to say I'd do so much, but no, I'd be dead in like 20 minutes.
I think it was less like, oh, you're sleeping with my father, you know, I
Prepare
had to kill
die.
you. Yeah, it was more like, oh,
good, you're here.
You poor dumb bitch, you're here. He didn't want to do it.
But
But
she
he
had to now.
Because that's a loose end. And if you're going to tie up loose ends, if you're going to settle your debts...
And she's right there.
You got to settle them all. He was remorseful directly afterward. Broken man doing broken things. But...
Such is life.
Yeah, sometimes somebody
in
gotta die,
Westeros.
man. Yeah, I mean that's Westeros. You know, we're talking about a show. We're talking about a group of people where a lot of like heinous acts, things that would be considered heinous acts in our time in our culture, are like, you know, fucking Tuesday there.
Yeah. Speaking of heinous acts, I'm just going to be hitting whatever comes to mind with Game of Thrones, any of the seasons, what have you. The Viper in the Mountain fight, the trial by combat, a couple episodes ago. I know how I feel about it, and I can go into detail on that. I know how the internet feels about it. What about you? What were your reactions with the Viper and the Hound, or the Viper and the Hound, the Viper in the Mountain?
Whatever.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I'm aware that the internet's super fond of
Oberyn.
Yeah. But, I don't know. He's kind of a dick, too.
Everyone's a dick in Westeros.
Yeah, but, like, some people are classy about it. Like, I maintain that Tywin's a fucking dick, but he didn't turn into Super Dick Book Tywin until the last episode.
Nah, dude, you're glossing over when he literally looked Tyrion in the eye and said he wanted to kill him as a baby. You're looking over the constant, never-ending abuse.
Well, overlooking it because it wasn't really. See, this is our old Dragon Age 2 conversation. They don't talk about that so much in the show. They mention it, but keeping names out for the sake of anonymity, I have seen many people who are thoroughly convinced they were abused as children who weren't. And not just like supposition says. No, they weren't. I'm not saying they're liars. I'm saying they've interpreted things wrong. You don't get the breadth of facts in the show that you do in the book. You can't quite, Tyrion can talk about how much he hates his dad, blah, 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 but he does still work with the guy. He is still suckling from that teat. Up until the middle of the first season.
Well, I mean, as you stated earlier, what choice does he have, really? And, I mean, there's plenty of stuff they show in the show, not in the books, where Tywin is a huge douche to Tyrion, specifically.
Yeah.
There's the thing with Shay. There's the thing where he puts him in the vanguard of a fight, knowing that Tyrion's had no battle training, essentially trying to get him killed. He does that on several occasions. There's when he ousts Tyrion from his position as Hand of the King with no ceremony, nothing, after Tyrion saved the entire city, and Tywin knows it. There's when he straight tells Tyrion to his face that as far as Tywin is concerned, Tyrion will never come into his rightful inheritance because Tywin hates him.
Well, he's being honest.
Right, and honesty is nice, but that's still his dad saying that.
Well, I mean, okay, just as I was saying before, how some people aren't abused and you don't know these things, some people are, and it's a fact of life. Look, if I hated one of my parents, if I hated someone I was related to, I would sever ties. I would move on.
He couldn't.
I don't know the world of Westeros that much, perhaps he just plain couldn't. You're probably right.
He could have, but this is the same, what choice did he have? He had the same choice as Shay. He had the same choice.
And yet all roads lead to Rome.
What?
What choice does he have now? He's in the same boat he would have been in.
Because circumstance forced him that way.
Yeah.
But this is not you don't get to say that Tywin gets carte blanche to abuse his son.
Look, I'm not saying he gets carte blanche. He hates Tyrion for whatever stupid reason.
Blames him for killing his wife.
Yeah, sure. But people do that. It's perfectly valid character motivation.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
And I think I'm coming from a point where that's taken into account. Taking into account what a horrible fuck the Hound is. He's a pretty nice guy.
Taking into account what a horrible person he is, as long as you account for his specific morals, he's an okay guy.
Taking into account that Tywin loathes Tyrion, and that he is, in general, sort of detached emotionally from the world.
His family in specific.
He's a good ruler, a good leader. I admire that of him. I probably wouldn't treat my deformed son so much like shit, but then again, if he killed my wife, I might resent the hell out of him. I'd try to be the bigger guy. But,
Tywin is ultimately a very petty man.
Yeah, and,
He did destroy an entire family and house and castle and surrounding lands for mostly an insult.
Well,
That's what the song's about, after all.
It's hard times up there in the Game of Thrones. It's not easy peasy street.
No.
You gotta be hard.
As many characters have learned.
You're taking a lot of things. Just in modern day situation, some little dude comes up to me and it's like, my dad hates me and he treats me like shit all the time and I just want to be the ruler and be his friend. But daddy's a dick, so I sleep around a lot and get drunk and I'm mostly worthless. I probably wouldn't like either of these people. But we're not talking about now. We're talking about, within the confines of this world. I mean, and to that extent, putting modern, real world moralities onto these characters is a bit of a stretch. It seems like constructing a point instead of noticing a point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Borrowing that in mind, not wanting to put modern morality on the shoulders of these characters and judging them by the morality of their setting.
I don't like where this is going.
How do you feel about Tywin's involvement in the Red Wedding?
Oh, I thought it was a masterstroke.
Really, despite the fact that in the setting is incredibly immoral.
Well, I mean, he took his life into his own hands, but he wanted to win. There was never a point where I thought that man looked uncomfortable with the risks. He didn't think they were going to befall him. Well, that's just stupid. But whatever.
Fair enough.
I mean, I believe he says something along those lines. If the gods are going to smite me down, then okay. But I win. Tywin Lannister, 2014.
So let's discuss, because I generally like how this podcast is going. It's mostly just me grilling Spork for information, which amuses me. The Stark children. You fond of any of those?
Arya.
Only one?
Yeah. Sansa's not bad. I think she's going to be interesting when she grows up. If she grows up. Wait, this is the Game of Thrones, after all.
She could die next.
Yeah, when I started watching this show, what little I knew about the books, I was like, look, I'm just going to assume everybody dies. That way I don't get too attached to anyone. Folly for me, because I ended up getting attached to a couple of characters, but...
Yeah, you did.
Almost lost me the show, it did.
Yeah. We're getting there. So, Robb Stark. Not a fan?
No.
We covered that.
He's too... I mean, first of all, look. When you make an agreement, like a direct fucking agreement with somebody, specific terms, and it's part of your rise to power, it's key in your plan to take over the world, because let's call it what it is.
Of course. I mean,
then you honor that agreement.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to screw you over in the end.
Right.
I mean, okay, that was like huge mistake number one. Only mistake. Only real mistake the guy made.
Yeah. Otherwise, he
was just a teenager trying to play, with daddy's business.
And it worked for a while.
He managed to fly by the seat of his pants for a while, but I didn't like his smug teenager face.
He was a tactical genius who made one very grievous error in judgment. I don't like the show's version of this because it makes Robb Stark a lot stupider than he is in the book.
Because
stupid. Because there were honorable reasons for both of his choices, both of his possible choices in the book. In that situation, there was a character called Jane Westerling. She's not in the show. He ended up having sex with her. She got pregnant, so he married her because he'd seen what happened with his brother, John, and he knew how bastards were treated at his level of society, so he didn't want to father a bastard. So he married the girl he got pregnant, which is honorable and just.
A dumb Stark decision.
And a dumb Stark decision because it's honorable and just and very unwise, which is the 3 hallmarks of a Stark decision. But it caused him to be dishonorable because he broke a previous agreement. In the show, he, as Professor Janitor would say, he threw away the North for, was it firm tits and a tight fit? Is that how he phrased it?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, and he did. He just plain did. Well, you know, even making that honorable decision. Look, you're not married to the lady yet. You don't know her from Adam. And you're the king in the North. Get married to the fray, and be like, okay, look, before we got together, I kind of shagged this lady, okay? And we had a kid, all right? And I know it's kind of a shitty situation, but look, I'm just going to use some of my millions that I'm going to have, because I'm going to take the Iron Throne, and
well,
we're going to...
He was not.
He thought he was going to. And we're gonna set her up, make sure her kid gets treated well, you know, and all that stuff, because that's important to me. Because my brother's a bastard, and I know how that goes. Okay? And it was stupid medieval times, and she's crazy and inbred and follows orders anyway, so she'd just be like, okay.
Well, you don't know. She might.
I don't know. I saw most of those ladies.
Yeah, fair.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, that's... Come on! Think for a second, you stupid fuck!
He was trying to do the honorable thing.
And he did the stupid thing. Like a Stark.
So, speaking of doing the stupid thing like a Stark, dear old dead Ned. What were your feelings on dear old dead?
You know, I like him. I think he's an idiot.
Because he has honor as a person?
Because he uses his honor at the wrong time. Pick your battles. And if you have the opportunity to, time your battles. And more important than either of those things, never fucking trust Littlefinger.
He even told him not to.
Oh my god!
So, we still got a couple Starks to cover, and we'll get back to them. Littlefinger. Lots of people on the internet love Littlefinger.
I hate him.
But he functions by the morality of his time, and he does a lot of those master strokes you seem so fond of.
I don't like his face. I don't like his stupid asshole face. No, that actor's very handsome. I'm not... But no, he's... If Robb Stark was putting on Daddy's suit coat and playing at business, Littlefinger is the guppy who is somehow swimming with sharks. And he doesn't know it yet. And neither do the sharks, to his credit. In fact, the only person that seems savvy of his bullshit is the spider. And the spider doesn't see him as enough of a threat to bother.
Or too much of a bother to try.
Well, at this stage, yes, because he knows how to bide his time. That's who I'm rooting for.
Varys 2014?
Yeah, Varys. I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite characters. Like top 5, definitely.
Him, Tyrion. Living or dead?
Oh, no, that's harder.
Okay, so top 5 living.
Yeah, top 5, they're currently still living as of the show finale. No particular order. Tyrion, Brienne, Varys. I had two others, and they're just...
Arya?
Oh, yeah, Arya and Jorah.
King of the Friend Zone?
King of the Friend Zone. Blue Balls, as I affectionately call him.
I like that they had him start wearing blue.
Yeah, I like that too. I like Jorah. I think he's awesome. It's hard to call any character other than Tyrion your favorite when Tyrion is so awesome.
Yeah, he is so awesome.
But so I just put him in a side category that's like
Tyrion. And then these other guys.
Yeah. In terms of tier lists, Tyrion is in his own tier.
He's
the
an
tier
S
below
tier.
that.
A tier is a different tier.
Tier below that, I really like the Spider. I think he's really fucking cool. I can't wait to learn more about his past. I can't wait to see, what kind of cool shit he does.
Yeah, neither can I.
And then probably Jorah, and then Brienne, because it's not going to be long before Brienne's honor gets her killed. She's not Stark stupid, but she's pretty fucking close.
She's as Stark stupid as she can be, given the circumstances.
Yeah, but I mean, she's awesome. And Arya, I really like Arya, but I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I thought it was kind of gonna with the Hound, but the more I ruminate on how that went down, I think that was fitting. Cold
as shit,
but fitting.
She did it in the books.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh wow, harsh.
She was in the book. The chapter was actually from her perspective too. She was like, "No, mercy, I get it." And then she did it. She straight did it, and yeah, a lot colder in the show, man.
Well, and I don't know if it's necessarily about mercy. Yeah, I think it's a better end for his character to not receive the mercy killing. In the mercy killing, you have the transfer of heat. You have the wrestling heat. You have the the passing of the torch. But in leaving him, Arya builds her own fire, and his
goes to Brienne.
Well, I mean, in the wrestling sense, yeah, but from a character development sense, he died like he lived.
Ugly.
Yeah. And sad.
And hard.
Yeah.
And far away from fire, except for that one time.
But yeah, I like Arya. Yeah, like I said, I keep waiting for that other shoe to drop. She's a Stark after all. She seems to be the only one with a decent head on her shoulders. But...
Hey, Sansa has one now. Took a lot of beating to put it there, but...
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with her. I'm interested in Sansa's storyline. I don't necessarily like her.
No, she's
very
stupid.
I don't really dislike her either. I can't be mad at her for being just dumb.
Yeah. So the stupid is slowly being beaten out of her by the harshness of the world she lives in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no.
I didn't like her at all at first. I thought she was just a dumb bitch.
Not the brightest tool.
No. I'm really interested in where her character's going now. She might end up winning me over.
She's near Littlefinger.
Until the end of this season, Daenerys was in my top 5 higher than that. Probably bumped out Arya. But,
then she did the thing she did in the finale.
Yeah,
She made a very emotional decision that was completely justified from an emotional perspective.
Oh yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And it was dumb. And I understand from a writing perspective why Jorah had to be sent out into the far friend zone.
Yeah. The acquaintance zone.
Yeah. Because if he were around, that would not have happened.
He'd have talked her down.
Oh, he would have talked her down so hard. I mean, that's all his character did the whole time he was with her was like,
no, don't do that stupid
thing. No,
thing.
Khaleesi, that's fucking dumb.
Sometimes it was, no, Khaleesi, that's fucking dumb. And the response was, no, it's not, fuck you. And then she did it anyway. And she was right. He was the wet blanket.
Yeah.
Sometimes when there's an actual fire, you need a wet blanket.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, it was more like when he was saying, "No, Khaleesi, don't risk your life and try to do this stupid, awesome thing." And she was like, "No, I'm going to do it." And she did it, because she excels at doing stupid, awesome things. But this was just stupid. It wasn't stupid awesome.
Speaking of, just so there's no confusion, when she chained her dragons up in that mausoleum.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Except for Drogon, the one who actually did something wrong, because he's just not there. He just left. But so we covered most of it. Not a fan of Brandon Stark?
No, I don't like that whole storyline.
Really?
Yeah. I like Hodor.
Everyone likes Hodor.
Everyone likes Hodor.
Not a fan of Jojen, Dead Guy Reed, and Mira Reed.
I thought Jojen Mira was a single character. Like, that's how little attention I paid. Look, okay, they even tried really hard to get me into it because there was suddenly a skeleton fight and magic pixies and Nicodemus from the Rats of Nim. But it's just like, I don't care about the skeleton fight and the pixies and Nicodemus if they're with this asshole.
You just really hate Bran that much.
Okay, look, in a world where we have the Queen of Dragons, in a world where we have cursed with awesome Tyrion Lannister, he's such a Mary Sue.
He's a crippled kid.
With super magic powers.
He does have super magic Hodor taking over powers.
Or Wolf taking over powers, and he's on an epic quest sent from Old Man. And no. It feels like a completely fucking different story.
See,
even in keeping with the fucking with the whites and all the giants and shit attacking the wall.
He's not a Mary Sue because he's so stupid. And
What fan fiction have you been reading lately where the Mary Sues are intelligent?
No. Everyone in the story thinks he's stupid too.
Fair.
Except for Jojen Reed. And to be fair, Jojen Reed and Bran are right. They really should be heading up north to the tree, the big tree with the
creepy tree.
Yeah, the creepy tree with the children of the forest. By the way, they're part of the lore of the series.
Creepy tree and the creepy kids.
Yeah, the creepy kids. They're not kids. They look like kids.
I know. I was listening that much.
Oh, I'm good. I'm glad. I can't know. I can never know with the Bran storyline part. You might have just completely tuned the hell out.
I just don't care.
Which is, fair, I guess. I don't imagine you have any strong feelings about Rickon Stark.
No, it was whatever. Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
It's a baby.
Yeah.
It's a baby Stark. And that leads us to the last in line, the unofficial Stark child, Jon Snow.
I hate that fucker.
Really? Really not a fan of Jon Snow. Why might that be?
Because Jon Snow, like his father, keeps stupid oaths.
Yes, he is a man of his word.
You can spin this trash any way you want to.
I assure you, I'm doing nothing of the sort.
Jon Snow works for Jon Snow, and whatever makes Jon Snow seem like the whitest of knights at the time.
That's not true.
Bah.
Jon Snow works for the Night's Watch.
Which treats him like shit.
Yes. That's true. He's very much like a spousal abuse victim.
I don't like martyrs who don't... I don't like career martyrs. Let me try that. I like the martyr as a symbol. You know, I like it when the renegade member of the team who you weren't ever sure if he was going to face heel turn suddenly throws himself at things and is like, "Go! I'll hold them off. You survive." That's awesome. It's like, yeah, redemption! And then he fights till his last, like Johnny Gat. But career martyrs who are like, no, it's fine. I'll carry the burden.
I'll take the ring to Mordor.
No, I don't take the ring to Mordor. I'll jump in the volcano instead. The ring seems more useful. That's the sound his face makes.
He has very sad eyes.
Jon Snow, you killed that creepy ice zombie. Thanks for that. Probably should have killed me too. You can kill me if you want. I'm Jon Snow. I'm just gonna lie down and hope my direwolf eats me. Is that cool? He's not doing it.
Not a chipper guy.
Such is my life, I'm Jon Snow.
Not a chipper guy, but...
And okay, for all that, Catelyn kind of looked at him funny all his life.
That they don't do a good job of showing in the show. This is very much a books thing. She was always very cold and distant and emotionally abusive, like a step up from Tywin Lannister. She did treat him like shit. But that's what I'm
saying, okay? He got better than Tyrion, and isn't a midget. Which in that world is real hard to get by on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure in this one, too, buttons are all about, above waist high. That's got to be some reaching. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that.
Same.
Out there to my small brothers, you guys keep rocking it. I believe in you.
To be fair, I don't think Peter Dinklage needs our support.
Not him.
He's doing real well.
He has millions of dollars and a mustache. What is he?
An amazing mustache.
But, Jon Snow is treated better than that. Okay? Tyrion at least becomes super bro.
He does become quite the bro. He uses humor as a defense mechanism. Jon Snow uses sadness as a defense mechanism.
Jon Snow's defense mechanism is to get naked and stand in the street.
And it's...
while looking downcast.
It's surprisingly ineffective as a defense mechanism. But he is a man of his word. That's the one lesson of his father he managed to absorb. Keep your word at all costs, for whatever reason.
For whatever reason. I'd like to think that's how he passed it down. Jon, if you have to do anything in your life, keep your word at all costs, for whatever reason. Do you know? No.
But it's very important.
Here in about 10 minutes, my loud, angry, drunk friend is going to ask me to do something I don't want to do, and I'm going to do it.
Because he's my friend, and I gave my word.
And then they both sat around and frowned at each other for an hour.
But, bridging into that, you hate the Night's Watch in general, right?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, it's a fallacy of an institution.
Despite the fact that the thing they are made to guard against is quite real and actually coming.
Well, that's not what they're fighting, though.
Well, I mean...
They're busy squashing the native peoples.
It's that or, be murdered by the native peoples.
I don't see why they can't just let the native peoples through.
Because they made a promise to not do that.
No, they made a promise not to let ice zombies through.
Yeah.
And then forgot the promise was about ice zombies and was like, what were we defending against?
Those guys are on the other side of the wall.
Probably those things. Yeah, it seems right. That or creepy tree, I don't know. Creepy tree's not moving though, so probably those guys.
Yeah, and that's a problem with the institution, but the institution exists for a very good reason.
Well, shit, man. I mean, they make electric fences for a super good reason, but I probably shouldn't put one up around my property. Children play through there.
So, it's not so much the Night's Watch you hate, it's their treatment of the wildlings, the free people.
Well, yeah. Man, fuck them. Being all, I own this place and shit.
Popped a big wall up and said it was theirs.
Yeah. How very European of you.
Well... They are pretty European.
Yeah, I mean, that's bullshit. I don't know, man. I like the wildlings. I like their giants. I like Dr. Cannibal. He seems nice. No, he doesn't. I don't like Dr. Cannibal.
The Magnar of Fen.
Whatever his name was. That's a dumb fucking... Is it really Magmar Fen?
No, it's his position. I don't know his name.
Oh,
they don't give his name. It's the name of their leader is the Magnar.
Oh.
And they are the Thens.
Oh, Fen.
The Magnar of Fen is the king of these guys.
Okay, alright. Okay, that's okay.
That's a dumb fucking name.
It's like Boba Fett, but a Pokemon.
The Adventures of Magnar Fen. Game of Thrones' worst character. Who are you? A Magnar Fen. Because you would think he's such a hard ass. I'm Magnar Fen. I'm here to solve all your problems.
And then eat them.
Whips out his sword, gets disarmed in 5 seconds. Oh, wow, you're terrible at this. I'm Magnar Thin. You don't know what you just brought down the thunder, you did. You mess with the Thin, you get the Magnars. That doesn't even make any sense.
And then he headbutts you and then eats you. Like... No, I think he's a shit and I don't like him. I was just being stupid. The rest of the Free Peoples. Aside from Stabby, who I believe died some time ago.
Stabby?
Stabby McJackass.
Dude, you're gonna have to give...
The one who was also in love with Ygritte.
Oh, he didn't... He was Stabby?
I don't know.
The other
he looked like a Stabby.
The bird guy? Oral? Rigetti?
Yeah, him.
Rigetti from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Is that actually his actress?
Yeah.
Wow, it's a nice makeup and hair.
I forget. Is Pintel the fat one?
Yeah, I think so.
Rigetti's the thin one.
I think so. I think you're right.
The thin one of Pintel.
But yeah, I knew who you were talking about.
With the wooden eye. Yeah, same guy.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I like his actor more now. I don't like that character. I liked Beard, and...
I figured you would love that guy because he hates Jon Snow.
I like that about him. But I think he hates Jon Snow for the wrong reasons.
For, as Ygritte put it, the ginger minge.
Yeah. I mean, I can't blame a man. I couldn't blame a man in a court of law.
Say you had been put in a situation where you had to join the Night's Watch. You were a thief or something, and they said this or death, and you chose cake.
And I joined the Night's Watch, and they're all like, "Yeah, you suck," and they got in that circle and poked me with sticks like they do.
And then you got sent out in Jon Snow's place, and then...
And then I would have put on some bear furs and started screaming shit at people, yeah. I would have been like, no, watch this is going to be fucking awesome. I would have put on my bear furs, and I would have taken them off, and I would put on my Night's Watch stuff again. I'd be like, guys, they're totally, they're bad, and we got to build up a defense against them. They found a way around the wall, and they're coming from the south.
All of them.
So no need to close those north gates or anything.
We should just leave them open, that way we can retreat if need be.
Yeah, into the wild.
You missed the visual part of that joke. You made a very earnest nod.
Yeah, I pursed my lips and nodded harder.
Oh.
That or just sack the place. I mean...
Yeah, to be fair, Jon Snow was pretty much the only reason that the wall didn't fall.
Yeah, because they had no idea what was going on. They were in there just, like, scrubbing their chum, man. What?
They honestly wouldn't have made it through Tormund Giantsbane's assault. That's Beard, by the way. Tormund Giantsbane. So called because he once killed a giant. Also claimed to have fucked a bear once.
Yeah, I like that story.
But, yeah. They wouldn't have lived through that. They'd have been like, looking at the wall. Wonder where those wildlings are. Oh, someone's behind me. Oh, it's a man with a hammer. And now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Quite dead I am. Yes, well dead. Sir Alistair Thorne, dead as shit. You a fan of Sir Alistair? He hates Jon Snow. For the same reason you do, because he's a punce little prick.
Yeah, I don't hate the guy. He's kind of a dick, but...
He did have to eat somebody once.
Yeah, that makes a man hard.
But, yeah, Jon Snow, and honestly, Jon Snow, much like the Starks, all very tactically sound thinkers. Jon Snow defended the wall against, 10-1 odds. Rob Stark never lost a battle. Not the best decision makers outside of battle, though.
No. I really wanted to, and Magmar Finn has blown the man's name out of my head, but I really wanted it when
Magnar Finn! The world's worst Game of Thrones character.
I really wanted when Jon Snow wandered out there into the cold, without his sword and like a moron. I just wanted him to stab him.
Oh, hey, stab. That was dumb.
I wanted him to go to King of the Wildlings and him just be like, right, and then headbutt him. And then the stabbing commences.
But the leader, the king of the north, is an honorable man who loves his people.
That's fair. And everything was going okay, and then that other fucking douchebag had to show up.
Stannis the Manus, rightful king of Westeros.
I don't understand why anybody likes Stannis. I get why people like Jon Snow. He's got puppy dog eyes and probably a big dick, and he's got the curly hair. Whatever. I get it, okay? You just want to fix him, he's a whoopee. I understand. Men and women alike, I get it. Fucking Stannis? Fucking Stannis.
Stannis is also a man of his word, and he's hard, like the Game of Thrones universe declares is necessary.
His word is dumb. His fire bitch, I hate her too.
Oh, well, at least you agree with the rest of the universe on that one. Everybody hates her.
Good.
But yeah, Stannis, the menace, rightful king of Westeros. To be fair, I also am not a huge fan of the guy. I just like baiting him.
Oh man, what a prick. Just, like, not even a fun one. A funless douche. That's what he is.
Yes, exactly. He is exactly that.
I like the Onion Knight. I mean, he's a bit of a
Sir Davos
sycophant.
Seaworth?
Yeah. He's a bit of a sycophant toward Stannis, but he is in that position where he has to be.
Man owes him his livelihood.
Yeah, I mean, it's
very thankful to Stannis.
He owes him a Wookiee life debt. I get it.
Wookiee life debt.
You look at Davos Seaworth and you tell me you don't see fucking Big Z.
Oh, shit. No, I just replaced all of his lines with the...
That little girl trying to teach him how to read.
It's night. I don't know why it's a G. Oh my god, the last 3 minutes of this podcast is just us making Wookiee noises. It's the worst thing.
Especially since we suck at Wookiee noises.
We are terrible at it. I'm sorry, but folks, listener, expect Magnar Then to show up in future podcasts. That's too good of a concept to let drop.
I like Jaime. I usually like Cersei. She's kind of gone off the deep end
Which
since...
baffles the fuck out of me. Cersei is the worst human being. I hate that character.
You know what? I really didn't like her the first time I watched the first season. But...
she's petty and bitter.
What I came to understand about her character, paying more attention to the actual dialogue...
mean-spirited.
I really get where she's coming from.
What?
Well, okay. All she has is her family. I mean, literally. It's all she has.
Also, lots of golds.
Well, who gives a fuck about gold? She's used to gold. She grew up a Lannister and then married the king. Money ain't no fucking thing.
Yeah, it's probably not a very healthy view.
I mean, like, if someone took away the gold, she might be like, oh,
and she was
this is way more balls than I ever thought.
She was pretty balls when the prospect of the gold might at some point be taken away came up.
But, she wants to take care of hers. She wants power. And in Westeros, that's healthy.
Wanting power leads you to lead a good long life in Westeros.
She was ridiculously over the moon in love with Robert Baratheon.
Yeah, she mentioned that.
And then he basically shat in her mouth for years. It started off good, but then one day he was like, fuck this, and started pooping and never stopped.
Because the person he loved was dead.
And had been, already.
For a long time.
Yep, you.
Robert Baratheon, not a good king.
No.
Great warrior, not a good king.
Yeah, Pants King. King of Pants. Robert Baratheon Pants King.
Pound up sugar!
Oh my god. I liked him when I first watched it this season. Like it switched.
Because he's kind of the balls.
Well, yeah, he's the balls and he's funny, but then it's like, once you understand that he's just a dick, it goes from like being best friends with the asshole jock to seeing him from the other side, and you're like,
you're an asshole.
You are rotten cabbage.
And he very much was. And I'm gonna be honest, I like that actor. I love that actor.
Oh yeah, me too. Oh, he's great.
But, oh boy, Robert Baratheon. Not a great guy.
No.
None of the Baratheons, really.
Speaking of...
Renly was probably the best of them.
Speaking of things that smell awful, that I like, Ramsay.
I'm sorry, who? Oh,
Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah,
I like him.
Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah. Well done, son moment. That was good. I felt that. I was like, yeah, this is great. A story arc coming together.
Who might be connected to Ramsay? Who's around him? Would you say?
Reek. I like Reek.
Who? Theon Greyjoy?
I don't
Heir
know
of
who
the Iron
that is.
Islands?
That guy's dead.
Prince Theon Greyjoy?
No, it's gone. I like Reek. Theon Greyjoy is a twat. Always was a twat. Never liked that asshole.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, that's it. I don't have... There's no depth there. There's no, well, he has this going on and that. No, he's just a twat. He was an entitled prick. He got what he deserved. And now he's a better person.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, like, in terms of being useful. Nice.
He's much nicer.
He's super nice. He'll give you a good shave.
But, yeah, I'm not entirely on board with that. Look, Theon deserved death for what he did. I don't know if he deserved what he got.
Well, I mean, would I want to have my mind broken and my wang chopped off? Not particularly. But...
Pretty sure it was twig and berries, to be fair.
Well, sure. But I wouldn't know that I didn't want my mind broken and wang chopped off once I became Reek. Ignorance is bliss.
He seems still aware that this is not good. He's not fond of the situation, but it's the situation.
I didn't get into it. He was kind of a dumbass the whole time anyway. I mean, there were like several times there where he could have been like,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He's not...
He started acting like a Stark, and that was his problem.
Yeah, he started to, value his honor as an Iron Islander.
He spent, hours. He spent episodes, weeks, months being an absolute dick wreck.
And he
burning perfectly innocent children for no reason.
Doing very well for himself. And
then he was like, wait, what if I had honor?
Yes, we could die honorably, and people would tell stories about us, and the Iron Islanders just don't have any of that stupid bullshit, so then they got flayed because they betrayed their commander, and that's what happens in the Game of Thrones universe. Sooner or later, if you break the rules of honor, you get yours. And if you don't, you get yours. Only sooner.
Gosh, what other characters are there?
Bunches. Osha, Tonks.
Oh.
Let's see here. Joffrey, the Boy King.
I like Joffrey as a narrative device. I hate him as a person, but I'm supposed to, so good.
The Tyrells, most notably the Queen of Thorns and
I like her.
Marjorie.
I don't trust Marjorie.
There's King Tommen, the first of his name.
He's
Sir Pounce? You like Sir Pounce?
I like Sir Pounce. Only because I like Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Not the best, he's just a cat.
There's Dario Naharis.
I would love to see him killed by railroad spikes as suddenly pioneers of business come a-tromping through Westeros with the steam age.
Just not a fan of Dario Naharis?
I want to see him be hit by several cars in succession.
I see.
And then I want them to bring back his old actor and also hit him with several cars in succession.
Because you didn't like him either? For various different reasons, I assume.
Just to make sure the character's good and dead.
I see. Grey Worm.
Grey, well, he's alright. I don't care. Like, it's like, why are we doing this? That whole thing?
Yeah.
It's like, what is this?
Why do I care?
Why is this happening?
Old man.
We had other characters.
Artson Whitebeard, Barristan Selmy. Same guy. Just that's alias he went by in the books.
Well, that's
It's old Kingsguard. Old man who hangs out with Daenerys now.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like him. He's dumb.
Really?
Yeah, like don't trouble till trouble troubles you.
Yeah.
That idiom I live my life by in a great way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He's like a snitch who actively looks for things to snitch about.
He is a snitch.
And then he doesn't do anything.
He
snitches and follows orders.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like, if I had someone under me who snitched and followed orders, I'd be like, thanks. Thanks for following orders. Thanks for snitching. And I'm pretty sure I have to stone you or something. Because you're worthless and a weasel. How do I know you're not double-crossing me right now?
You know what? No, that one you can't really lay on Barristan. He's pretty much known as being the most honorable motherfucker in Westeros.
Well, and, good for him. I just don't like him.
Like, that's how she knows he isn't betraying her, because Barristan Selmy wouldn't. Once he gives his word, it's given.
Oh, shit. He could be Johnny Nobody from off the street, and she'd be like, I trust him because I'm fucking dumb.
Man, when you turned on Daenerys, you turned hard.
Look, okay, the way you've explained it to me, all these books, you have to suffer through her stupid teenage brain.
Oh my god. Look, if you love Daenerys Targaryen and you haven't read the books, fucking don't. That will ruin the character for you. She is such a twat-waddle.
The last, 3 episodes that she was in of this last season, that stupid teenage brain came out and did a party dance.
Mm-hmm.
We were fine for a good long stretch. And then she was like, I feel like making bad decisions. Sense of bad.
Sense, I like it. Yeah, she did fall for the dashing young man. There's plenty more characters, but there's also plot events and all sorts of stuff. And we're honestly on time here, so...
Yeah, you spent the whole time grilling me. This must have been a treat for you, listener. So do you like, what was that one guy's name? Pie? Is there a pie?
No, there was no pie.
What was that one guy's name? The kid?
I mean, there's hot pie.
Hot pie. You like hot pie? Yeah, I like hot pie. You like Samwise Gamgee? Yeah, he's okay. You like...
Hey, you know what? Your opinions on Game of Thrones are interesting because they're typically not the norm. Whereas my opinions aren't as interesting. This was less of a two-way conversation because, hey, the characters the internet likes? I like them too. The characters the internet hates? I hate them too. I am pretty much in agreement with the internet on various characters.
I like Old Blind Targaryen.
Yeah, Aemon Targaryen?
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he is.
He can't see shit.
I like Samwell Tarly. I like Jon Snow.
I like Samwell. I do.
I like and I miss Gren of the Night's Watch. I like all the characters that y'all like. I love Bran of Tarth. So does he. But that's why I didn't mention Bran, because we both like her, and everybody does. I tried to go for the characters that you have a slightly different opinion on to everybody else. Everybody loves Dario Naharis.
I love him.
Except for you, me, and...
Stricken by trucks.
Except for you, me, and, Jorah. Everybody else in the universe loves Dario. Thinks he's just the best thing since sliced fucking bread, okay?
Well, I mean, there's happiness in slavery. It's comfortable to be wrong sometimes. Look, all I'm saying is that guy is a train wreck waiting to happen.
Then there's,
I don't get people who make actively bad decisions in books or in real life. I mean, obviously they're being written that way and you want to advance your plot. And it's realistic, because there are plenty of people in real life who do that shit. I don't get why you see someone and go, what a horrible cunt. I shall wed them. That will only go well.
Yeah. I mean, to
Hello,
be fair...
I'm sexy and will betray my friends at a moment's notice. We should make love. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it...
What? For real, though. I mean, for really real? Yeah, why not? Are you daft? Shut up, don't talk to her, you're dick. Fuck you, where did you come from? I'm Captain No Fun. He was mean to you. Not really, and I feel bad about it.
It was a long time ago.
Whatever, look, he probably is going to betray you. Not Dario Naharis, so that kid's trustworthy. Well, then you need to leave. And Dario, you need the key to my dragons. Why not? Don't ride them around the countryside, pillaging. Don't do that. And then he does.
Yeah, of course he does.
While fucking the dragons.
Because he's Dario Naharis.
I like sex and swords! Hey!
Hey, Oberyn Martell also likes sex and swords. And
Maybe I just don't like people who like sex and swords.
He got his head crushed by a mountain, he did.
I didn't hate him, he was... I don't know, it's like he showed up and he was like a dick to everyone, with no exception, a dick to everyone, and then Suddenly everybody likes him for some reason.
Because he was on Tyrion's side.
Before that.
He's smooth.
I guess he just didn't...
He's smooth.
He didn't woo me. I didn't get wooed.
He wooed everybody else.
I'm Oberyn Proof.
He's Oberyn Proof. Another amazing Game of Thrones character. The Adventures of Oberyn Proof and Magnoff.
Oh, listener. This has been the train wreck I want to see hit Daario Naharis and Stannis Baratheon and Fire Lady. And Jon Snow.
So many other people.
That's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
No train wrecks for anybody else? No train wreck for Littlefinger? Littlefinger doesn't get a train? He doesn't have a ticket? Not a ticket to ride for Littlefinger?
I want Varys to take his penis and then make a little belt and wear it and make fun of him with it. Ooh, I'm Littlefinger. I have a wiener. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It makes me make decisions about people. Ha 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 ha. Oh, don't listen to me because I'm a shit. Oh, you listen for God knows what reason. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then he just stabs him a lot or something. Or has his little bird stab him. I don't know. He does something awesome. Penis belt's pretty good though. I like that idea. Tonight, the part of Eric J. Chucci has been replaced by Ed Gein.
Well, I mean, you wear a lot of clown makeup.
Yeah. What? No. You're not allowed to troll me on the air.
Oh, sure I am. That reaction alone was worth it. Oh. Well, I think we should probably leave now before he starts digging himself in deeper penis belt-shaped holes.
I should probably cut the part about the penis belt out.
I don't think so. I think that needs to stay. Ooh, 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 I'm Littlefinger. Ooh, 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 I am a wee-wee. That should definitely stay. That's gold. Right, you agree with me, don't you, listener? That should definitely stay in the podcast.
Oh, man.
Oh, so... Just in case you do chicken out, pause for editing.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. Say your tagline.
Normally try and segue this, but there's no better segue than penis belt. Everything's better when nerds talk about it later.
Even penis belts.
Even penis belts.